Okay, we are on.
All right.
How are you?
I'm great.
So I'm trying to figure out. This is Mr. Dodger's neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the memo.
Who's Mr. Dodger? You or me?
I think you are. I think I'm just dressed for it today.
You're one of my neighbors.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm Mr. Dodger, even though you know 10 times more about the Dodgers than I do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you do. You're a wonky guy. If there's anything about statistics, facts, anything new, you're always going to beat me. So you're and I know that you're going to educate us on where we are right now. I've been waiting for this time because we are in the playoffs.
We are.
There wasn't a question about that for the longest time, although I'm going to tell you, though, I was a little worried because anybody who thinks it's a sure thing, but they were strong all the way from the beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
What was their final number of wins?
111 is the magic number.
Did they break the number?
Yes, they did. It's a new franchise record, and they're going into the postseason with the best record in all of MLB. So expectations are very high. Mm-hmm. Crazy things happen in the fall, as always, but it's looking like, and even I think Dave Roberts is saying this is probably one of the best teams that he's ever managed before. So
and it's hard to believe because I remember, was it 2017 when they lost to Houston in the World Series?
That's the trash can one.
I thought that was the best team I had ever seen before, but then again, I'm not there on the field watching and stuff,
right.
but numbers speak for themselves. I mean,
Right.
111 games, that's pretty incredible.
This team is just on an absolute tear. The pitching has been amazing. We lost some pitchers, but the offense has held up. The bats have been really, really hot. The addition of Freddie during the middle of the season has just been really, really amazing.
I think he's key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trade deadline. Joey Gallo has been just completely tearing it up, even to everyone's complete surprise when he came over from the Yankees. It just seems like things are starting to click. Some of the pitchers, the injuries that we're getting. I heard Dustin May is back practicing on the field. He's doing a simulated game. We should expect him to be on the roster for the postseason. Chris Taylor is going to be back on the roster for the postseason as well. So things are really starting to come together, and it's really looking like it's shaping up to be a really exciting series of games for this postseason.
Yeah, so we're coming in with presumably the strongest team.
That's right.
The most favored team. But as we know, the regular season is different than tournament ball, right? Which
That's
is what
right.
the playoffs is. It's like anybody could have a bad day or a bad week, and boom, they're out.
Right.
And then there's the idea that teams peak at a certain time, and
Right.
some of these other teams that are in the playoffs could be just getting to the beginning of their peaking, and we could wind up with them, and who knows? So it's still a nail biter.
There's also
right?
teams that might have peaked too early.
Yeah.
A certain Mets team has not been doing as well since
I hope
probably
so.
the last 3 quarters of the last season. But it really does. It's a matter of timing, right? You want your best players healthy and ready to go at the start of October. The regular season is what it is, Obviously, you want to maintain that good record, but something I see about this team that's so special is that we've never had long droughts in wins. Even when players have gotten injured, even when we've had crazy heat waves here, things like that, this team has always been able to bounce back from big losses, series in which they haven't. I think we won a majority of the series that we were playing, but no, we didn't win all of them, right? But they were able to turn it around for the next series, get it together, and really just kind of find a way to win. And I think that's just sort of the idea that Dave Roberts has impressed onto this specific team, is that no matter what, you come back and you find a way to win. And they've responded just 100%.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because how many seasons have you sat through there where the Dodgers or whoever you're rooting for gets into a rut, and then suddenly that great record that they have just starts slipping, and you're like, oh my God, you're right. I haven't seen that this year. They've been pretty much on a roll throughout the season. Wow.
Right.
So you attribute a lot to Dave Roberts, I think.
Absolutely.
Why do you think he's so good?
I think he's been around the block. He's been to the World Series with this team before, and he's won. So he has the experience. And not only that, these players really look up to him as a leader, as someone that has, their genuine interest out. I remember when they were trying to do a couple things with Chris Taylor and trying to do bunts. They incorporated that into his regular batting routine, and he, was able to sort of thrive while bunting the ball. He got a couple on bases from that, but they're really buying in. It's that buy-in mindset, right, where you're substituting your own judgment for someone that has that care and experience and that knowledge and that skill.
Yeah, he's also a different type of a coach.
Yes.
Not only does he have what you're saying is that he's got the support of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They respect him. They follow him. He's able to lead them, probably because of his experience, but also because of his personality.
Right.
But he also is, I think, somewhat innovative, and
Right.
he takes risks.
Yes.
And stuff. So good. Who are we playing next week?
So we're going to find out. We play the winner of the National League wild card, and that's going to be one of two teams, the Padres and the Mets. Now, something really cool about that first game of that series is that it's going to feature two former Dodger pitchers. For the Padres, I think Yu Darvish is getting the start. And for the Mets, Max Scherzer is going to get the start.
Oh, my God. That's going to be a fun one to watch.
It's going to be a great series
When is
to
that
watch.
game?
I think that's Friday, so
Okay.
tomorrow, 8 p.m. So that's going to be fun just to watch those two pitchers squaring off and vying for the opportunity to.
Is that a wild card?
That's a wild card.
So it's just a one and done?
Best of three.
Best of three, okay.
Yeah, best of three for the wild card. And then we got National League Division Series, National League Championship, and then ultimately the World Series. So Dodgers have 11 more wins that they need. 111 wins right now. They need 11 more to take it all.
To take it all, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're talking about where we're at in this. Didn't they expand the playoffs this year?
I think they kept the same playoff structure.
Okay.
What they did is they condensed the season because of the original lockout.
Okay.
But you're still getting, I think, 120 some odd or some, pretty long season. The year I think in which the Dodgers won and Alex Verdugo made a comment about this recently when they won the World Series back in 2020. That was a condensed season because of obviously COVID and there were no fans in the stands. So a lot of this is sort of validation, right?
This means more to me than that one.
Exactly.
If they win this one, yeah, because this is
exactly.
Yeah, I always thought about that one, and I hate to say it, but it was during COVID, and
right.
I just don't know. Okay, so you know what, we've talked about this before. A dominant team for a decade now.
Yes.
I mean, just an incredible time to be a fan of the Dodgers. What we have is some pretty gnarly opponents out there.
Yep.
Okay, and I've been watching these other teams. San Diego kind of scares me a little bit because Darvish. Did you see that game when he pitched against us? And they just handed us our lunch. Now I was there at that game.
Right.
That was, I think it was last Friday or something. We didn't have our A team out there.
Right.
There's a lot of players that were taking the day off, but man, he looked good.
Darvish is definitely improved quite a bit since he left the Dodgers. I know he got a lot of the blame for that World Series loss.
And now we turn out that they were stealing his signals.
Exactly. So I mean, whether that blame was wrongfully assigned to him, that's going to be a discussion. But he certainly turned it around down in San Diego, and that team is looking really, really good right now. I know they were able to add a very hot batter at the trade deadline too, so they're definitely sort of on a roll right now. On the other side, you got the Mets, who were pretty much sort of the equivalent of the Dodgers, where they had a really, really great season, but then you get into the dog days of summer, and now you sort of see them start to slide a little bit.
Keep sliding.
And
I don't like those guys.
Exactly. So I mean, between the two, I would prefer the Mets.
You would?
I would prefer to play the Mets.
Well, because they're not playing so hot right now.
Because they're not playing so hot, right?
Right.
That Padres team, they didn't start out that great, but they're starting to get hot. I'm worried about the momentum that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Mets, which team did we have the most difficulty with during this season? I think the Mets.
The Mets gave us some problems
early on in the season,
yes,
right?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
That's why I don't want to face them again.
Right. I think out of all the teams, they probably have our number the most. But the question is whether they have the batters or whether they have the pitchers to make it through a 5-game series against the Dodgers. That's going to be up for debate. They also have the three that they got to play for the wild card. So we're hoping that they go all 3 games. Would love to see, 2-1 outcome, just give our guys a more break, let them work through their bullpen a little bit more. But it's just so great because pretty much, all bets are off at this point. October baseball is completely different from regular season baseball.
Yeah.
The energy, the excitement, if you ever get a chance to go to a game. I mean, I haven't been to a postseason game in a while. But
I'm going to one next week.
Very nice.
Yeah, the first game.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on. Is it Wednesday?
I think it's going to be Wednesday. Yeah.
So they don't know what time of the day it's going to be though.
We also don't know who's going to be pitching
or who's playing.
Yeah. So I think the two top candidates right now. I think Dave Roberts said he's considering between Urias and Kershaw. Both, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. But Urias has been playing absolutely amazing. I think he's got the lowest ERA in the league right now. Kershaw is Mr. Reliable. It's just you have a situation where you get to choose from these really both amazing pitchers that are really going to be doing well.
Man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a firm Dodgers playoff night sometime soon. I know that Loxy was gonna schedule it for us. I can't wait for that. We've done that now for maybe 3 or 4 years now, and it's always fun. Yeah, if they get past either the Mets or San Diego, then they're possibly looking at a team like St. Louis, right?
That's right.
Which is pretty darn tough.
The Braves.
The Braves, yeah. I'm not so worried about the Braves. I think we're okay with there.
Braves, I mean, they got a pretty decent record too. They're at 101, so
okay.
They're not that far behind.
That's true. That is true. When you look at it that way, you're right about that.
Yeah.
But I'm fearful of the Yankees.
Oh.
I mean, it could very well be the Dodgers versus the Yankees this year. And
right.
with Judd running around that base like he's a kid in the candy store.
Is it 63?
Is it 63 now?
I think 62 or 63, so... I don't want to be pitching to him.
no, but all from the beginning of the season, I looked at those Yankees because they're a younger team than we are. I think they've been developing them over the past 3 or 4 years. This might be where they're peaking and stuff. And man, it's gonna be good TV though, right?
Battle of the Titans. Really, you have great teams all across the league. I mean, yes, the Dodgers are leading, but that doesn't mean that anybody could all of a sudden
knock
get
them
hot.
off.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is a guarantee. And that's, I think, what's so exciting about postseason baseball.
Who's our relief pitchers right now?
So
'cause we got a problem in the bullpen, don't we?
So we tried out Kimbrel for a while.
Right.
That didn't go so well. We kept him in the lineup, but we took him off as relief. So now we're sort of working through the relief pitchers by committee.
What does that mean?
It means that we're not assigning a specific relief pitcher. We're going to work through the roster and see who's available. But there's not one specific designated, at least for the moment. Whether that changes when the postseason roster gets finally released is going to be up in the air. It's going to depend on, I think, also if Dustin May comes back. That's also going to change the bullpen a bit. But as of right now, that's a question that hasn't been answered as of yet.
Okay, that might be our weak part right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's always been a weak part. I remember back when we had Jansen, and now we're looking back. I wish he would come back to the Dodgers. So.
Yeah, we couldn't afford the guy.
Exactly. But he's great. He's good. He's good. I think he got a lot of negative comments and all that stuff. I don't know if it was all deserved, but
this year?
No, before
it was never deserved. That guy was incredible. Man.
He was actually really good. Yeah.
I mean, if they ever get a chance to bring him back, even if he just to retire him here in LA, because he was so entertaining.
It's a tough position to play.
Yeah.
As coming in as relief and trying to save a game against major league hitters that have basically been bringing up the pitcher the entire game. So I don't think there's really anybody who can step in and not get some sort of negative feedback, at least from the crowd. Look, fans love to win games, right?
That's right.
And they hate to lose. So.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for Mr. Dodgers Neighborhood this time around, unless you got anything else to add.
Go Dodgers.
Okay. And we'll see you soon. Hopefully, we're going to have a report that we're still in the playoffs. And either way, we'll do a postseason wrap-up. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the Dodgers this year. Thank you.
Thank you.